I'm gonna have to ask you to stop looking in my toilet. It's inappropriate. This is a family show. There are children watching.
I hope not. Those poor kids need some
What
better
is
hobbies.
it? What is it about my toilet that you find interesting?
I do believe you have some hidden M&Ms in your toilet mug.
No, that would never happen. Keep your eyes off it. If you can manage to not look at your phone during today's show, I'll let you have the entire bag that's in here. What do you think about that?
I'll buy my own M&Ms.
She can't, you guys, she cannot resist. It's ridiculous. What's happening? Welcome to the show. That's just candy right there. You don't have to go to the store. You're like, no, gotta look at my phone.
It's okay. I'll go get
Can't be present with my people here.
Nope.
Wow. I talked last week about how we needed to do some sort of intervention. It's clear that that wasn't just a joke. So it's going to have to happen.
What is going on in my head? I have those little baby hairs sticking up. I'm looking in the camera here. Sorry, guys. I'm a hot mess today.
What's happening, everybody? Welcome to the show. This is our Sunday Live Haul. I'm Katy. This is Vikki, a.k.a. Victoria, when she wants to be taken very seriously, a.k.a. has a serious addiction to looking at her phone at all times, even while doing a show, a.k.a. my fiance. Ridiculous. At the top of the show, really quick, I want to say a few things because we are really bad about ever doing this. We want to ask you guys, if you're not subscribed to our channel, if you could go ahead and subscribe, that'd be awesome. I think something like, a third of the people who watch our show aren't actually subscribed. So we would love that. We would appreciate that if you would do that. And you can click the little bell notification thing to make sure you get notified. We have our show every Sunday at the same time, almost every week. But occasionally we do some extra videos. Vikki did an extra little short video this week about cross-posting. So you never know when those are going to pop up, so it's good to know.
Vintage unboxing videos. We're talking about vintage stuff. Sometimes we used to do store reviews. I have been thinking that I would like to bring those back. Maybe not every Wednesday. We don't want to do a Wednesday show every Wednesday. I'm sorry, it's too much. But I would like to bring back a store review maybe once a quarter. So something that I would like to say, and I can do it by myself. I don't need you.
Good, fine.
So something I would like to say about that, if you are somebody that has watched our store reviews in the past, they are a live store review. The person who owns the store does need to be present. We will go everything with you. We are gentle. And so you have to be willing to put yourself out there. But if you are looking for a store review, we do not charge for them. We just want you to volunteer and be able to be on camera. So if you are someone that is looking to have a store review done and you would like some help to improve your listings or improve your business, reach out to me or Katy through the links below, or reach out to me through Instagram, Facebook, something like that. Let me know. And I'll put you on a list and we'll pick somebody in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And we'll do a store review.
All right. So make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. We would appreciate it. And Kelly, I agree that peanut butter M&Ms are the best. Those are my number one. If I go to the store to buy M&Ms, I always get peanut butter. That is the only one I really like. I happen to have peanut ones because when they were doing the Christmas blowout of all the Christmas candy, like all the big bags of M&Ms were only $2. And so I bought a bunch of the peanut ones
You bought a bunch?
Well, I bought like 2 bags. You already ate the other bag, madam.
That's true, I did.
And I bought 2 bags of peanut butter ones, which I ate. But I bought a bunch of the candy because I had just sent my mom like a big care package back in Oregon that had peanut M&Ms in them. And I was like, I'll stock up so I can next time I want to send them. But then it's like there's candy sitting there. And then she was like, you got any candy packed away? Because she knows I hide it because if I don't, it disappears. So
I'm a fat chick, kids.
No,
sorry. I like candy. I like sweets.
I'm more savory. She's more sweet. I like some sweet, but it's much easier for me to have it hidden away. But it works in your favor because guess what? When you're craving it, you always know I can go rustle up some sweets for you.
It's true.
It is very true. All right. But yes, Kelly, peanut butter M&Ms are the best. And I remember when they first came out back in, I think it was like the early mid 90s, wasn't it? Peanut butter M&Ms.
I don't know.
Because for Christmas, I got my sister I had this tin and I got her the single of Michael Jackson's Black or White. And I bought a bag of peanut butter M&Ms and I thought it was real clever. I filled up the tin with the peanut butter M&Ms and the Michael Jackson single, as it were. And and I was like, you know what? If I eat 10 peanut butter M&Ms, she's not even going to know. And so I did that. And I was like, if I eat like 10 more, she's not even going to know. And so I did that. And well,
she Christmas came around in a tin.
And she got, well, I didn't put it in the tin anymore. She just got a single because I ate all the M&Ms. It's a true story, guys. So, all right. The other thing I wanted to say before we get into the meat of our show, Dana has already been talking about it in the chat. Dana, House of Rocks. We've talked about Dana many times on the show. She started out as a friend of Vikki's, actually, I think an acquaintance way back in the day. Mm-hmm. And then Vikki hired her as her assistant. They became close friends. Dana went off on her own to be an awesome vintage reseller herself. And she also has had a really awesome Instagram account. And we would always tell people, go check out her Instagram account because she was really good with hashtags, really good at balancing like work lifestyle type posts that are really interesting. Well, she got hacked. Not once, but twice. And the second time, she could not get it back because Meta, the stupid Meta Facebook, Instagram malarkey, they apparently don't care and won't do anything about it. So she lost her whole account.
So first thing you need to do is if you are following House of Rocks, HAUS of ROXX, you need to report that account as an impersonating account, impersonating someone you know, then unfollow and block.
And this is now her real account, House of Rocks official, guys. So she had something like, I think 2,500 to 3,000
She lost thousands of followers.
And tons and tons and tons of posts. Like, that's what really sucks is that she lost. So like she can get the followers back, but she can't get those posts back, which is really a bummer. Although I would say, Dana, maybe try and go, if there's ones that you really love, you can go and at least copy, like download the pictures and maybe copy some of the content. But go ahead and follow her at House of Rocks official, as you can see right here. And because seriously, guys, that's super lame.
Yeah, it's really lame. So in her hacker is like, she's not the person trying to sell crypto shit. I think you guys could realize that from the posts, knowing that it's not the same. I had dozens and dozens of people message me knowing that I'm close with Dana, being like, does Dana know her account's been hacked? I'm like, yes, she is.
I just don't understand why it's so hard for them. It's like clearly suddenly all of her info got changed. And suddenly it's a different password. Suddenly it's going to a different email. Suddenly they're sending out messages and posts about crypto shit where you can make a bunch of money. It's very obvious that it was taken over by somebody else. And so you would think that they would not want that kind of activity happening.
She had to take a photo of herself and her license and a photo of herself holding her license to prove it was her.
Yeah.
And they still wouldn't restore it. So
it's just stupid. It's really stupid.
It's the worst.
Sandra says, House of Rocks, you've always been official to me. Well, we're really kissing up this time.
So hello to everybody in the chat. We didn't say hello to you personally. I'm sorry. I saw that Crystal's there, Hip Flippin' Mama. We got consignment chats in there. Michelle, Mikey Bags of Money. A lot of people in there. So thanks for popping in.
Oh, speaking of Mikey Bags of Money, if you guys aren't following Mikey Bags of Money on his YouTube, he is a reseller and he does way more content than we do. He's a up and coming, growing channel. Definitely follow him.
He's actually building a channel. We're just like maintaining.
We're doing the bare minimum to keep coughing along. But anyway, Mike has a cool channel that he's currently growing, and he's doing some cool stuff. And one of the things he does is he live streams, goes out for food with his wife, and gambling and stuff like that. We've joined him one time, and we are joining him. Mike, I might be putting you on the spot. I hope it's happening this Friday because I'm saying it right now on the show. So if it's not happening,
just said it.
Okay, good. Because otherwise it was like, I just decided that we're doing it. Anyway, I think this Friday, the 11th?
Yeah.
Okay. So make sure you're following his channel because we will be out with them. I'm not sure where we're going to eat, but we're going to go get food, do some gambling. So you can kind of just come hang out with us. And I'm sure he'll say what time in the chat, but I don't know, whatever time, 7, I think, usually our time, Pacific time. All right. I think that's good for giving the lowdown. Let's see. We're going to get into our show. It is the Sunday Live Haul. We break it into 3 parts. First part, we look at our real numbers for the week, our gross numbers from last Sunday to yesterday, Saturday, across all our platforms. We break down the fees, shipping, cost of goods, fun stuff like that to kind of give you an idea of how we're doing from week to week. Second part of the show, we look at our sales highlights, either some really cool things we sold or maybe something educational or whatever, or maybe it's something crappy that it took 5
I've done
years.
that before. We've talked about really bad stuff
we
before.
We don't usually, just because we like to share the good stuff, but whatever. So the highlights, and then the last part of our show is our actual haul stuff we picked up over the last week or so. And I feel like we have some good stuff. You have a really good mixture of hard goods and clothing.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got some cool things. And I think I've got, I know I usually am just showing a bunch of t-shirts, but I feel like I've got at least
you have some
one
cool
or two things that are going to be educational to put on your BOLO list. Just saying.
We are not getting tattoos, Cheryl. Nice try. I'm sorry. I have a lot of tattoos. There is no way I'm going to a tattoo shop that advertises $10 tattoos.
One other thing I wanted to say, just because I know there's some people that only watch the first part of the show, or don't, a lot of people don't sit through the whole hour and a half, 2 hours. I get it. If you would be so kind, if you are watching this after the fact, or also for you people that are in the chat after the show is over, go ahead and comment below and tell us about what your big score of the week is. Either something you picked up that was really cool or unusual, or something really awesome that you sold for a big amount. Comment that below. That'd be really cool. And that's about it. All right. So you want to get into this?
Yeah.
Want to talk about ourselves? Let's go ahead and do it. Well, if you remember last week, I had a pretty lame-o rough week of sales. And then here we go, back on the roller coaster EKG of sales. This week, I'm right in line with where I like to be. So again, this is ending yesterday. I had 19 eBay orders. I had 10 between Etsy and Thrilling. One of those was a Thrilling order. Nothing on Instagram. And then I had 8 on Grill and Mercari, 4 on each of those platforms, for a total of 37 outgoing orders. My eBay gross sales, I'd love to be able to hit 2,000 on eBay. It's been harder and harder to do. But if you remember last week, I think I was I was below 1,000. I think it was 900 or something like that. This week, $1,493.55. A lot of that was in the last half of the week. So I've had a pretty good last few days. Etsy and Thrilling combined, $990.50. About 200 of that was from my one Thrilling sale. Again, nothing on Instagram. And then Grill and Mercari combined, 623. 378 of that was Mercari, so more than half of it. And let me tell you, Mercari is never going to be a huge contender as far as my platforms go. But I will say, I feel like the last month, I've been having steady sales there. I've been having regularly, pretty much always have something in my processing little folder or whatever, which has not been the case since I started on Mercari. So I don't know what the difference is, what's happened, but I'm getting offers, sales on a consistent basis. Total gross sales, $3,107.05.
That's a good week for you.
Yep. If I always say, if I could stay at 3,000 every week all year, I'd love it. Shipping, $154.52. You can see the breakdown of my fees there. Cost of goods, $420. $420. And my net total sales, $2,187.49. Gross average sale price, $83.97. I always try to hit 70 or above, so I'm loving that number. Net average sale price, $59.12.
3,100 in sales when you only had 37 orders is pretty good.
I think so.
I mean, that's really good.
I think so. Because you're definitely killing me this week, and you usually are ahead of me. But this is where you kind of look at what you want to do with your business. And obviously, you'd rather be Vikki. I can say that right now. But her volume is way above mine, but lower average sale price. So, it's just it's all a trade-off. But bottom line, she's making more money than me. So that's how it goes.
All right.
Tell us what you got.
So I had 52 orders on eBay, 12 between... I had nothing on Thrilling. So I had 11 on Etsy, 1 on Depop, 12 on Poshmark, 2 on Mercari for a total of 78 orders. That's a good week for me. I did just about $3,000 on eBay for the week. Again, that's where I'd like to be.
That's really good.
3,000 to 3,500. That is my consistent goal, is to hit 3,000 on eBay. It has not happened in a while.
I don't even think you had 2,000 last week, did you? On eBay?
No, I think I just under 2,000. So that's been my goal. And that was my entire 2020 and the early part of 2021. I was $3,000 a week and above on eBay alone. I'm hoping to get back up there. I have been adding a lot more diverse items to my inventory lately. So hopefully that's what's helping. I think I relied a little too heavily on just clothing last year. And that may have been my problem. It was just a lot easier for me to source. I had a consistent weekly source. So I wasn't outsourcing the hard goods combination the way that I used to, and the way that has always consistently worked for me. So I have started doing that again over the last few months, and my sales have definitely seen the difference. So for me, I think that's really what it is. I need to incorporate vintage and collectible hard goods into my repertoire consistently.
Ooh, repertoire.
So 78 total outgoing orders. Like I said, just about $3,000 on eBay, $835 between Etsy and Depop. My one Depop sale was only $30, so $800 of that was on Etsy. Poshmark, $633,
nice.
$65 on Mercari, for a total of $45.31 for the week. That's great for me. I'm very happy. $4,000 above for the week. That's consistently where I'd like to be. So $471 on shipping. I will say that's a very high shipping number for me, but I did have a couple of very big, heavy items go international, which I'll show. $360 eBay fees, Etsy, Poshmark, Mercari, total costs. My cost of goods is always low, $255. Most of my cost of goods come from the bins or estate sales. I do try to keep my costs down. So I'm not like Katy. I don't pay up for items. I'll occasionally pay up if it's good, if it's something really good, but usually I'm wicked cheap. So $32.38 my total net sales, $58 gross average sale price. Anything over 50 is good for me. And net average sale price at $41. So that was a really good week this week. I think we both had good weeks.
Yeah,
I'm happy about that.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm good with mine. I wish my eBay was a little bit more consistent. It's really been struggling along, but this is where we get into the whole thing of, you know, the whole argument of to cross post or not to cross post. And again, you should go watch Vikki's video that we put up earlier this week, where she kind of lays out the reasons why she cross posts and why she.
I will say that my video is a little bit of a clapback video, I'm going to have to say, but which is not my style, but I stewed over it for about a week.
I mean, it's not your style, except for you are pretty sassy.
Well, it's definitely my style in person.
Style in person.
It's my style in person. It's not my style on the internet.
I'm like, what are you talking about?
Oh no, that's totally my style in person. It was a big old FU. But
there was a lot of talk going on Instagram with a particular person in the community, and the biggest issue was deleting comments that were contrary to what he was saying. And it's like you know, everybody gets to have their own opinion, like that's totally fine, but I think it's weird when you shut down the discussion and you only want to have comments that agree with you, because I mean, we don't do that. The only comments we ever delete are if they're abusive,
if it's spam, or if it's calling people names. And actually, we have plenty of comments on our videos, past and present, calling both of us names that we never deleted.
Yes.
Because you know what? I'd rather have those people be shown.
That's true.
Go ahead and show your
colors. When we were going through the whole thing with Jason, we definitely left up any kind of, for the most part, as long as it wasn't anything directed at other people. There were a couple of comments that were inappropriate about other people, but if it's about us, we're like, whatever, let people see what it is.
I don't really care. You want to call me names and want to attack me personally, whatever. It just makes you look like the asshole.
But this person was like doing this whole thing about like, you shouldn't, you know, nobody should be cross posting, and here's why you shouldn't cross post. And it's like, fine, you get to have your opinion. It's just really odd when you delete anybody. And what Vikki had commented wasn't like, it wasn't aggressive, it wasn't attacking. It was a respectful, like, I disagree and here's why, and kind of laying out her reasons. And it got deleted along with a couple of other. It's just weird.
It got deleted along with the people that were agreeing with my comment.
Right. But so if you go and look through their comments, every single one is agreeing and saying, wow, you're so smart, you're a genius. And again, fine if people want to agree, but I just think it's like, are you that fragile that you can't handle somebody disagreeing with you? Like, that's bizarre and kind of silly. So we had.
I also think that there's room in this community, and if you know Katy and I have watched us for a while, you came to our remix or any of those things, there is room in this community for everyone. We believe wholeheartedly in being kind and inclusivity. And I think when you start talking down to people and telling people that they are losers, basically, if you're not making millions of dollars, you're a loser. It's not a real business. If you don't do exactly like I do, you're wrong and you're an idiot. I think anybody that speaks like that is not somebody you should be looking to as a leader in this community, or any community for that matter. Well, and I don't really care how this sounds right now because it's not my favorite person, so I don't give a shit. But
And I think
I'm getting fired up now, but
I think we go to great lengths, probably too much. I know I'll probably reiterate this almost too much to say, this is just how we do this, or this is just how we do that. This is what works for us. It might work differently for you. You might have better success doing it this way, while as I have better success doing it this way. And it's all about what your goals are and what you want to do. And so when we give advice, we're usually saying take that with a grain of salt and decide what's going to work best for your business. Mm-hmm. We've had our friend Trish on our show a couple of times, and her whole model is to only list on eBay. And a lot of that has to do with the type of stuff she sells, the volume that which she sells. And she outsells, I don't think she outsells us together, but she
definitely outsells
as one person,
one of us.
She sells more than either one of us do, makes more money than either one of us do. So her model absolutely 100% works as a reselling model. It's just not our model. And so for her, it does not make sense to cross post. And that's totally cool. And so we always kind of go bend over backwards to say, please, what we're telling you is just our opinion based on our own experience.
Turtle Bug Inc. says it perfectly right there. But last comment.
It hasn't popped up yet.
Okay, as soon as it pops up, I want you to highlight that comment, because it's exactly how we feel about what we do. Diversity of opinion is really helpful. I appreciate all the information from you guys. I take what works for me and leave what doesn't. It's exactly what Katy was just trying to say. Yeah. We try to teach you tools that help us, and we try to teach you things that we may not even do that are helpful. Yeah. And it doesn't have anything to do with whether it's cross-posting or whatever. We're talking in general. The way that I do business is not the way Katy does business, and vice versa. And we have two very successful businesses, and we do them differently. Yeah. So, and we're under the same roof. Yeah. And my brother and sister-in-law are very successful Amazon sellers. And I hate Amazon. I have no desire to do what they do. Yeah. And they're very successful at it, with several employees selling several millions each year on Amazon, doing wholesale. That's not my bag of tea. Like, that's not something I would ever have any interest in.
It's not your bag of tea?
I don't think that's the right term. Yeah. But anyway, but it doesn't mean that they're any less successful. In fact, they're probably more successful. They have a lot, and they love what they do, but they're not interested in what they're selling. They're interested in it as a business.
Also have to take into account that everyone has a different definition of success, what success means to them, and different goals for their business. And so but whatever. Ultimately, I think if anyone is telling you there's only one way to do something, I think they're doing you a disservice, and I think they're doing their followers a disservice. And I don't think it's a responsible way of being a leader in the community, in my opinion. And again, that's an opinion. And if anyone should like to disagree with my opinion in comments to this video, feel free, because we will not delete them.
It's true.
Because we are not scared of people disagreeing with us, because that's what makes the world go round.
Yeah.
Although I will say YouTube is a weird thing where if you ever comment on one of our videos and your comment just never shows up, let me tell you, we get notifications all the time of a comment, and then we'll go to look at it and it's gone. So, which is really frustrating.
Yeah. So we always acknowledge every comment. We either reply, or it gets a like or a heart or something like that. So if you reply or you make a comment on our video and it doesn't, and you don't hear anything, it is not us being rude and not acknowledging you back.
It drives us crazy.
It's like the first 3 or 4 comments in the last month or two.
It's really frustrating.
You cannot access, and I don't know why. It drives me nuts.
And it's not even like there's like a section where you can look where it's like stuff that is being held for review, but whatever. Anyway, that was kind of an unplanned rant, but we did want to address it. And so watch Vikki's video. But the whole reason why I was bringing it up is because, like, this week I did over 3,000 in sales, but only half of that was eBay, which makes eBay still my number one platform. Mm-hmm. But if I were just to focus on one platform, I mean, either I'd have to completely overhaul what's in my inventory, or I would have to double my inventory. So go from 2,300 listings to almost 5,000 listings to maybe be able to hit the same numbers I'm listing now. Whereas I prefer cross-posting. What do you think about that?
There you go.
Cross-posting. That's what I like. Anyway. All right, let's get into the rest of our show. You have anything else to say about your numbers?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
Anyway, and the thing is, there's a lot of people out there, a lot of influencers, a lot of leaders, and everybody takes something from different people, and we're not always going to be the ones that say what you want to hear.
I just want to highlight one person in the chat today because it's her birthday.
Oh.
And everybody want to say happy birthday to my friend Corey.
Yeah, Corey. Oh, you're late because what, you think you can do whatever you want because it's your birthday? Whatever. Happy birthday, Corey.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. I know it's Corey's birthday because she gave me the warning that I had 1 year to mentally prepare for her 50th birthday cruise that we were going on. Because
you just called out how old she was.
Okay, well, I think if you're throwing yourself a party on a freaking cruise for your 50th birthday, I think you're okay with people knowing how old you are.
That's true.
Anyway, I'm not a cruise person. Going on a cruise does not exactly sound super like something I would want to do. But I'm doing it for Corey, but only because I was informed of it 2 years ahead of time, and now I have a year, so it's coming down on me fast.
And we've already paid for it.
It's coming down on me fast. It's coming to get me. Happy birthday, Corey. I'm doing that for you, so you're welcome. Oh, geez, that's your birthday present for like the next 10 years is my presents.
Oh, geez. All right. So let's get into some of our sold highlights.
Okay, let's do it. We'll start with you, and let me switch the screen around. There you
go. So this is just something I wanted to talk about. A lot of people get bogged down by not being able to find comps on something or looking for comps. When you're talking about vintage items, you don't necessarily need to find comps because a lot of times you're not going to find something exactly like it. You're not going to find a lot under that brand name. One item with a specific brand name doesn't necessarily mean that all the items under that brand name are actually worthwhile and vice versa. So this is just something that had no brand name, no comps. And it's still something that I priced pretty high. It sold for the price you see there. Pretty. I picked it up for $5. It's just a vintage caftan. It's not satin. Here's the difference. You know, you'll find things that look similar to this made by certain lower end brands. Anthony something or other, which not worth picking up. So you know, there's a couple brands that make things that look similar to this that are like polyester and nylon and satiny. I would not necessarily pick those up, but this is like a cotton. This is a really nice heavyweight cotton, and it's in a beautiful kind of a, I don't know, Eastern Indian influence looking pattern. That's what it looks like to me. So I picked this up. I think I picked this up at an estate sale for $5. If not, it definitely is a bins find. Either way, it was $5 or under, and it sold for $79.95. Christine, happy belated birthday.
I know. I have it highlighted because our lovely friend Christine, it's her birthday. We haven't seen her in a little while since we had our little
summer
meetup
cookout
recently, but
Anthony Richards, thank you. That was what I was thinking of, Michelle. Thank you. I think it has to be a really great pattern for it to sell well, in my opinion. I never pick it up, but I'm glad that it sells for you.
Anything else?
No, I just wanted to touch on. It doesn't necessarily have to be something that has a name that you can look up. That just happens to be a really nice pattern that I really liked. So,
All right. First up for me. So if you watched last week, I talked about that not so great experience I had buying a big, a 100-pound bale of vintage. I ended up getting 58, and I had to like go a little postal and get $500 back. Is
that from the movie?
No.
Waiting to Exhale?
No, it's not. I think it's probably capitalizing on the movie at the time.
I loved that movie.
Yeah. But anyway, I had paid $1,000 for supposedly 100 pounds of vintage. I was sent 58. I yelled at him, got $500 back. So I paid $500. I then took probably about half of the pieces that I got to yesterday's fits and traded them in, got $200 credit. So really, I kept about 50 pieces. They cost me $300. And so $6 a piece. This is one of those pieces. So I paid $6 for this and sold it pretty quickly within a few days for $97.99. I'm still listing. I haven't even listed everything that I got from that that batch of stuff. But yeah, it's just I'm sure it came out like as the movie came out, or maybe the book.
As Sandra said, great movie, phenomenal soundtrack too. I have the CD still somewhere. I listened to that soundtrack over and over again. I love that movie. When Angela Bassett throws the match into the convertible and burns all her husband's shit. I loved it.
But you can see this shirt has like, it's got some pink on it that I wasn't able to get out. And so I just disclosed that. It's got some fading on it. So it's not in perfect condition by any means. And it's still sold
a really cool graphic.
$97.99. Again, I paid $6 for it, sold it for $100. So I was pretty happy. It was good size too. So 2XL, it's a really good size for vintage.
For sure.
Ooh, what's this thing?
So this is a doll that I picked up at the bins. So 2 weeks ago. About 2 weeks ago at the bins. So I paid $3 or so. It's probably about 2 pounds. It's not 1 pound. I don't know anything necessarily about these baby alive dolls. Some of them are worth a lot. The older ones, certain ones that eat are worth a lot. This particular one happens to be a popular one, and it's not that old. It's been around for maybe a year or so. I think it came out in 2020 or 2021. Anyway, she doesn't have her accessories. And I had it listed for about 2 days, and it rolled into my sale, but it sold immediately within 2 days. I paid $2 or $3 for it. The doll complexion is a little bit darker. She looks like she could be maybe be a Latina or a Hispanic doll, kind of a little bit darker, not a very, very light-skinned Caucasian doll. Very cute. But it's one that's interactive. That's why it talks to you. It cries. It makes like scrunches up its face.
It was talking and it was creeping me out, man. Because she was just leaving it playing, like it's chewing and
her eyes do blink. Her eyes close. Yeah, it's interactive. It's like this whole. I don't know. I don't have little kids with dolls anymore. So they were not this sophisticated 25 years ago. But she's real cute. And I knew that because it was interactive, that it was going to be worth more than, $3. That was the only reason why I picked it up.
Sandra, you're correct. They do blink when she comes alive at night.
But don't worry. She's being shipped out tomorrow, so you don't need to worry about it.
Yeah. Well, it can all happen tonight, can't it?
Yeah. You might still die.
Yeah, it's true. All right. Anything else?
No, I just thought it was really cute.
Actually,
I was going to say,
cute.
She's got a cute face.
She's not as creepy as some of the other dolls.
The face moves. Like, that's the whole thing.
Luckily,
when
I didn't
it
see
cries, the face moves.
No.
And it scrunches up its face, and it has it's supposed to have real tears or something. I don't even know, but yeah.
No.
Yeah. See, she could be Puerto Rican.
Yeah. All right. Next up. So this is another t-shirt. Yeah, I haven't even listed all of these shirts. I still have a bunch to go. And I've already sold 3 of them so far. And so this is one as well. This t-shirt, it's a really cool shirt. It has a couple things going against it. One is that the graphic is kind of off center, which I disclose. 2, it's very, very small. And it's very short. It only measures 22 inches in length and then 20.5 inches across the chest. It's a very old shirt. It's definitely from like the 70s. The graphic on it. So this is actually from the Pink Floyd Animals album, which came out in the 70s. So this shirt's either from like the late 70s or early 80s.
When you showed this to me, I thought it was the band, The Animals.
No. This is the album Animals. So the other thing is it doesn't say Pink Floyd on it. It just says Animals. It's got the pig. That's like the album cover, art cover. It doesn't have a date on it or anything. But if it came out in like the 70s, there's a good
chance they
didn't
care about that copyright stuff.
They wouldn't be putting that necessarily on a shirt. So it's not in the best condition. So I didn't list it like crazy high or anything like I would have if it actually said Pink Floyd Animals, whatever. But so I had listed it for $200. This is weird because it doesn't show the original list price. I had it listed at $200. Within like a day, somebody offered $100, and I'm like, you know what? I don't give a shit. I'm selling it for $100. That's a really good offer. I paid $6 for it. It's got issues. I'm selling it. So I sold it for $100. So again, $6. $100. So remember, guys, I paid $300 for the like 50 shirts that were all really good. And so now I've sold one for $100, one for $97.99. And I said there was a third one I sold for $65 on a different platform. So now I'm at like $365. Of course, there's fees and stuff. So if I sell one more shirt out of these 50, I'm pretty much going to be even.
Yeah.
So
with 4 shirts.
So a kind of crappy experience buying from this guy. I'm still going to be ending out on top with a really good deal. For sure. Because I was able to get that money back. All right.
So this was actually a jacket that I found at the bins. Yes. Givenchy in the bins. It happens.
Givenchy.
It doesn't happen often here, but it happens. So this one, I disclosed exactly all the issues. There's lots of little moth holes all over it. It's a wool coat. I did have the coat dry cleaned. I think the photographs are just showing more issues than there really are.
Well, that's good.
It has to do with the
you sold it.
The lighting. But anyway, it's a navy blue overcoat. vintage. It was actually in really nice condition. If you're looking at it from afar, you would never know that it had those little holes. The holes didn't go all the way through the lining. They were just that little, I don't know.
So is this the accurate color right here?
Yes.
Okay.
Dark navy. Anyway, so I don't normally dry clean items, but sometimes I will. And this is one of them that I did have it dry cleaned. So I paid, maybe it's heavy. So I probably paid $4 or $5 at the bins. And then I paid to have it dry cleaned. And I think that our dry cleaner charges $5.
It wasn't very much.
We go to a really cheap dry cleaner.
They've jacked up their prices though. It's like $3.50 a shirt now, unless you bring us over a certain amount, and then it's $3. So it's not the magical days of.
It used to be $1.95.
Yeah, no more.
Which
no more.
For anything, a sweater, a dress,
but
a shirt.
On the upside, a jacket like this, you're paying maybe $5.
Right, and this would normally cost like $20 to have this dry cleaned at a lot of places. So yeah. So it sold for the price you see there. I didn't have it listed stupid high because of the issues. If it were in better condition, I probably would have. I would have listed it much higher. But because it had issues, it wasn't listed that long. Maybe a few months.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's still nice. I mean, it's nice. It's a luxury coat. It's very well
it's
made.
Luxurious.
Yep.
And something like those waffles, you probably can't even see it.
You really can't. You have to be like on top of it. And it's wool and cashmere. It's really nice.
And you know what? Having those flaws look even worse in your listings, it's good because it's like what under promise over deliver. I had somebody give me a feedback on Etsy, and they were like, the shirt was in better condition than it looked like in the photos, which the photos looked fine. It didn't look like it was worn out or anything, but I like getting that kind of feedback where they feel like they got something better than they even thought they were ordering.
Yep.
All right. Next up for me is this awesome Supergirl jacket. Now I got
the TV show,
the movie.
Oh,
I got this over a year ago with a bunch of other movie T-shirts and stuff. I bought from a guy on eBay. And so I paid $20 for this jacket. It sold within like a month for like 200 something to somebody. Somebody like offered like 250 or 265. And I was like, hell yeah. And then they immediately returned it. And I was like, oh. And so I've had it for another year. And then somebody offered me 150. And I'm like, hell yeah. And hopefully this time it stays away.
Hopefully it sticks.
Right. But I only paid $20 for it. I think it's super cool. It's from like the video VHS release of the movie. I think it's super cool. I love the movie. It's kind of campy and ridiculous and whatever, but
I don't think I ever saw it.
I'm sure you've never seen it.
I know we're shocked. We're shocked, aren't we?
I think that's a real good possibility. But I just think it's really cool. You guys know how I feel about movies, and so I was glad this is finding another home. But yes, $150. I paid $20 for it.
All right. So this is another bins find. This was here's the thing. At the bins, at least here in Vegas, most of the people that are not looking for the things that I'm looking for, which is nice because I don't have a lot of competition. When I go, I can, if there are vintage clothing items there, I'm going to get them. Of course, they all want what Katy sells. They don't necessarily want what I sell.
Yeah.
So, and a few of the people there now know what I like and know what I sell. So I've had a few people walk up and hand me things and say,
which is nice when you become, that's the nice thing about being a regular at the bins is you start to get to know people.
We're semi-regular at this point. I would say we go at least every other week and should go once a week. So this is another coat that had issues. This had some tiny moth holes too. As you can see, they were indicated by the little red tape marks. This is something that Crystal and I have been doing for the last, I guess, a little over a year now. It makes things a lot easier to see and to find in photos.
Inspired
it's just
by
a little
Clara.
Piece of tape. Yep, inspired by Clara from List Perfectly. This is what she used to do on her photos. And it's perfect, actually. It's sometimes you're going to have a mark or a stain that is difficult to see in the naked eye, or show up on photos. And those little red pieces of tape make a huge difference.
Yeah.
Makes it a lot easier. I even leave the tape on a lot when I'm sending the items so that people have something to refer to on the photos. In any case, that sold for what you see right there. Again, this probably cost me $5 or $6. It was like 4 or 5 pounds. Maybe a little more, but maybe $6 or so.
Probably cost
$7
more than that to ship it.
It did cost me more than that to ship it. It did cost me $13 to ship it. It went to, I think it went to Texas. But This is a vintage 1950s. That's a high-end men's suit wear company, men's professional clothing. So
Michelle wants to know where you get the tape.
I bought one big roll well over a year ago, I think on Amazon.
It's got like a weird texture. What is it?
I don't know. It's just red tape.
Interesting. All right. So there's your non-answer, Michelle.
I know. Sorry. And then Crystal just cuts little pieces and sticks them on there, you know?
Yeah, that's good though. I think it works well. It's like the whole, under promise, over deliver. It's also being very clear about flaws, because I mean, the last thing you want to have to deal with is a return because somebody's unhappy about it. I always say the two things that
Crystal's chiming in there, and she said it helps if you list and photograph on different days to remember to list the flaws in the listing.
But I always say that the two only things that buyers really care about is that they get the item that they ordered. So it's described correctly. So they get the item that they ordered and they get it fast.
So Armando has a question. It's been a while since I've been on a live. Am I finding my things more at the bins or at thrift stores? So right now, I would say the bins. I go to the bins quite a bit, and once a week or once every other week. I have been purchasing from estate sales. I have been buying box lots from people in our group or viewers that are looking to sell box lots of clothing. I've purchased several items that way, and I do still have a local connection here that I can start up at any time and pick up 50 to 100 pieces a week from her. We put a pause on it. I want to say early November, and I haven't started back up again. I probably will in another couple of weeks. Maybe not. I don't know. I'll wait and see if she reaches out to me, because although I did get quite a few good items, I was inundated with a lot of middle range mediocre stuff. Great prices on it, don't get me wrong. And I've done well with what I've purchased. I'm just okay taking a step back, because right now I'm having
running out of room with clothes.
That too, but I'm finding good luck finding things that I like a little bit more.
Yeah. Well, and locally you're getting the majority of your stuff from the bins. We did just go to the LA area, and you got quite a bit at thrift stores as well as some estate sales.
I don't shop the thrift stores here in Vegas that often. Occasionally I will, just because I get the itch and I just want to go out. But honestly, our Goodwills here are not great. I know some people do well at them. I do not do well at the Goodwills here. And Savers prices have been ridiculous. Yeah. So the only time I will go is maybe on a Monday, but I hate going when it's busy early. So anyway, it's so hit or miss. I don't do it very often.
I think part of the problem is that the way you and I source, even though we have separate businesses, we have similar. We want to be able to go a place where we can get a bunch of stuff that we want to sell. I feel like the people who are successful with hitting thrift stores are going to be people like Mike just posted this really awesome vintage Dodgers his chalkline jacket, I think, that he got. It looked like it was Goodwill here in Vegas. And let me tell you, I guarantee you, Mike spends more time per week at garage sales and thrift stores than we do in a month.
Absolutely.
And so you can still find great stuff in thrift stores, but you got to be more consistent and actually going out and looking for those.
You have to spend at least a couple of hours every day sourcing, if that's the way that you're getting your items. And I know that
you can find great stuff.
If you follow like Thrifty Yeti on Instagram, that's an account that I really like. But he's somebody that goes to stores. He'll go to the same store sometimes 2 and 3 times a day, depending on when they're stocking. But he'll, he's going to list and sell 10 or 15 things a day and source the rest of the day. And that's it. And there's nothing wrong with that.
No,
but he's very successful in what he's doing but he's able to pick up really quality items by sourcing several times a day or several times a week.
You have to do it consistently.
So that's just not my jam.
You have to go many times. And that's not the way I want to spend my time either. So I personally am willing, I do it by paying up. That's the way I offset it, is I pay up for stuff to be able to get everything in just a couple of places. And luckily, because you go after a wider variety of stuff that isn't necessarily over the top hot, like vintage t-shirts are right now, you can find some places where you don't have as much
competition. I love estate sales as well, like Noelle is talking about and Sandra's talking about. Our estate sales here are few and far between. If we're lucky, we'll have 4 or 5 on the entire weekend in the entire Vegas Valley. I don't think people understand that. In the entire, pretty much, let's call it the state of Nevada for where we are. Anything outside of the Vegas Valley is ours outside of the Vegas Valley. So North Las Vegas, Henderson, and Las Vegas are the Vegas Valley. The area that we live, anything out of there, outside of here is the desert. Vegas is kind of an island. So for us to source and go to an estate sale here, when you only have 4 or 5 to choose from in the entire weekend, these people, a lot of them price very, very high. So I've been fortunate in like 3 or 4 that I've hit in the last few months. But for the most part, they're usually, it's not even worth going.
Yeah. So see, Dana says I'm in Goodwill for 3+ hours when I go, and they bring out at least 10 fresh racks while I'm there. And see, that's the thing. If you're going to find something good, it's going to be on a fresh rack. It's not going to be stuff that's been sitting out on racks for the most part. But there's the trade-off is that you're hanging out there for over 3 hours. I don't want to hang out at the Goodwill for over 3 hours, but if that's how you do it, then you're going to find some cool stuff that way, which Dana does find a lot of really great stuff. So it's not that it's not there, but it's not going to last if it's good and it's hot vintage.
Oh yeah. I'm telling you, Noelle, if I ever get out there, we are definitely going to estate sales, girl. Mm-hmm. Yes. I am shopping your inventory and the estate sales in your area. I say the same thing to Laura. If I get out to Michigan, I am doing that as well.
Yeah. And we've been looking into like some online auctions, but then it's like you have to add fees. And if you can't pick it up, you got to add shipping. They haven't shipped it to me yet, but I just got like 35 items here locally. But they have to still have to ship it to me. And I had to pay a 15% buyer's premium, which added on another $40 to the bottom line. And it's like, so it's just,
yep. Speaking of, I just want to give a shout out to, there is a new site for resellers to sell on. I know that Casey's talked about it. Yeah. If you are looking to sell wholesale, if you're looking to sell lots of items, it is called Haul Sale, HAUL, Haul Sale. I'm not saying this as I don't have a referral code. I could get one, but I don't have one right now. I have not used the site yet. They're just about launching. They're just starting to launch. They are in beta right now. But it might be something if you want to join their Facebook group or at least follow them on Instagram, Haul Sale, HAUL SALE. I think it could be a good opportunity for sellers and buyers as well. Both buying from other sellers and selling some of your goods. Maybe you have surplus or unwanted items. People have difficulty sourcing, all that kind of stuff.
I'm curious to see how it goes.
Yeah, I'm interested to check it out and see how it goes too.
Because I see some people being like, oh, well, it's just going to be a bunch of people's crap that they weren't able to sell. And I'm like, not necessarily, because you'd be surprised how many people, if a certain area just isn't your jam, which is how Vikki ends up with a lot of boxes of vintage. If people like hate doing clothes, but they know they have vintage clothes, they might throw it up there for a good price because they want nothing to do with it. They don't want to photograph it and have to list it and all that stuff.
No, that's true. I had somebody reach out to me. I've had several people reach out to me with the vintage stuff that they're just not interested in selling it, and they have the ability to get it cheaply. And so, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, just real quick before we move on, Cheryl's talking about when we get to Florida. We just booked our flights. We are going to be in Florida. I don't know if you have the dates off the top of your head, but we'll be talking about it when we get closer to it.
I don't.
We're mostly going to be there just to hang out with friends. We are going to do a little bit of sourcing, but we do, because we know there are a lot of people in the Florida area that are going to want to get together at some point, and we can only do so much in the time that we have there. We are going to be planning a meetup of some sort with Casey. And hopefully
Casey and Star. No, Ryan said he's in. So okay. Casey, Star, Ryan and Allie, and Callie, and
whoever else. So
those are just the people that you know. And obviously May. That's in May, and it's just going to be a hangout meetup. So
I think it's like the 18th or 19th to the 24th of the dates we're going to be there. But we're going to have one meetup, so the people can come and hang out with us, because, like I said, we have a lot of things that we're going to be doing, so we're not going to be able to individually make plans with all these people. So we're going to have meetups. So hopefully everybody can come together and
we'll do like a whole afternoon or a whole evening or whatever, or something, so we can just all hang out. Like not like nobody's going to be teaching or anything like that. We're just, it's just a hangout.
We'll be like in the Tampa area, I believe. I don't know. I've never been to Florida, guys. So we'll be there in May. Just a heads up. Keep an ear out.
Oh, Cheryl, I really do hope you bring your husband. I would love to meet him.
I thought, isn't he our biggest fan?
I would really love to meet him. That might be my only chance. So I hope he's feeling up to it.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, let's get back to this. Anything else on this jacket?
No, just
another
bin's fine. I know. Sorry.
It's all right. I'm not gonna apologize. I was just making an observation. All right, next up.
I like this shirt.
I sold this Wolfman t-shirt. I love this shirt. So I had bought this shirt and a really awesome Aliens 3 t-shirt from yesterday's fits not that long ago, maybe like 4 weeks ago. It really hasn't been that long. This one I paid $70 for, because I believe I paid $100 for the alien shirt. I paid $70 for this one. So I had it listed for $300, but I'd already sent out many offers to buyers for $200. And I think somebody actually offered me $200, and I was like, absolutely. So I sold this one for $200 this week, paid $70 for it. So, again, like, I am willing to pay up, but when I'm paying up for something like this, I know I'm going to sell it. Like, I know I'm going to sell it for at minimum 150. Like, I didn't have any doubts that I was going to sell this and make some money. It's just a really cool Wolfman t-shirt. I love it with this big, huge graphic. It's just a very cool shirt.
And Allison, hook a girl up. I know you don't like selling the women's vintage clothing.
Yeah.
Why don't you FaceTime me sometime with some of the crap that you have? And I say crap knowing it's not crap, because nothing you grab is crap.
Come on.
I'll buy it from you.
Seriously, she was sending me pictures of some VHS movies that she got. I think she got them yesterday or whatever. I wish I had a VCR, because I'd be like, well, unless they are worth a ton of money and she can make $1 bazillion off them. I don't know. They're just these really kind of random, bizarre movies, one of which has skiing and aliens in it.
Tommy's cracking me up. Look at you name dropping, just hanging with the millionaire. They're our friends. We're staying with them. We're staying with Casey for a couple of nights, and we're staying with Ryan and Allie for a couple of nights because they fought over us. So we had to make sure that we split our time.
They didn't fight over us. They both invited us, and we wanted to stay with both of them. So we were like, well, let's just split the nights. So it'll make it easy. There was no fighting. Anyway, so yeah, Wolfman t-shirt. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Next up for you.
Okay, so these shoes I have had, no word of a lie, for probably 2 years. Here's the thing. I am so lazy. I could have gone into or called Louis Vuitton and sent these in and had them fix the little flaw and put laces in them, but I am so lazy. I did neither of those things. I paid $15 for these at Savers at least 2 years ago. They were missing the laces. That's one of the things Savers has been doing more lately, taking laces out of things. I don't know if they've been walking out with shoes or something.
It's weird.
I don't get it.
Oh, I guess that kind of makes sense.
That's a pain in the ass.
Because people switching shoes and then walking out in them, I guess it kind of makes sense. It would be a little more difficult to walk out with.
Yeah. So shoes. I mean, that was really the worst of it, is that it was missing laces. And then if you scroll down, it was missing. There's a little tiny block on the side right there near the heel that had a little Louis Vuitton. Thing? No, not rubber. A little gold thing that it was a Louis Vuitton emblem. If you look on the other shoes, you'll see it. Let's scroll down. I'll see if there's one that actually shows where it is supposed to be.
Apparently, you only show the bad one. Oh, there it is.
So that's where it's supposed to be. So it was missing. Now, Louis Vuitton does warranty their items. I'm sure I could have gotten them into a Louis Vuitton store, and there is one here in Vegas, but it's on the Strip, and could deal with that. And had them repair it. And I probably wouldn't have paid that much for the repair, and they probably would have sold faster, but I'm lazy as shit. And I paid $15, and I finally got them listed. I don't think they've been listed 2 years, but they've been listed for about a year.
Mm-hmm.
And I took an offer for $250. It's not the price you see there.
I mean, how much would they be worth if they had that replaced?
Probably $400 or $500.
What? That's a good deal. Noelle says that she was telling everyone on her last live about vintage Christian t-shirts, and they didn't believe her. And she told them that I sell them, and they were astounded. Did you tell them that they should have faith, Noelle? Because because I didn't include this. I did not include this, but today. But I do want to show you, since Noelle's saying this. Here, let me make this bigger. I also sold this yesterday. My Jesus Christ Spirit t-shirt, which is like the Sprite soda, only says Spirit. Sold that for $89.99 yesterday. Just saying. So tell your friends that they just need to believe, and the money will come.
You're a dork.
Jesus said so. All right. Anything else on these shoes?
No, that's it. Mm-hmm. I'm just super lazy. Clearly, if you were not lazy and you took the time to get the laces replaced and that little block replaced, they would have sold for double.
But I mean, you do that with some stuff. You'll buy, you just have to decide which ones you want to focus on.
For me, that would have been, I would have had to go to the Louis Vuitton store. I would have had to open up a ticket because there was no way to do it online. If there was a way to do it online and I could just ship it somewhere, that shit would have been done. I hate people. I hate doing all that stuff in person.
We have a lot of believers in the chat who believe in the power of Christian t-shirts.
All right.
Yep. Everybody, for somebody who just showed up, they're probably wondering what's our cult talking about?
Okay.
Shun the non-believers.
Stop it.
And then Allison says, WWJW, what would Jesus wear? Probably some really fly vintage t-shirts. I know.
Probably so.
All right. Next up, guys, if you watched last week's show, and did you know this? Check it out.
What?
You can see the price.
Oh, where'd that come from?
It's a Christmas miracle. Etsy is showing sold prices. It's awesome. Makes it a lot easier if you ever want to peruse our solds on our in our Etsy stores. You can actually see the sold prices now.
And they're correct. Address what Noelle says. I bet Crystal would have done it for you. I'm not sending Crystal on an errand to the. She lists stuff. She's not my errand girl, for God's sake. I'm not going to send her to the strip to go deal with the Louis
she'd
Vuitton
more likely
store.
Send me and not pay me. So.
I mean, I love Crystal, but girl's got a busy life. There is no way she needs to waste 2 hours of her life going to the strip.
Yeah. Anyways, last week I had shown this t-shirt. If you remember, we had gone into a thrift store, then we left. This is when we were in Downey, California, and we left and had lunch with Nanette, our friend Nanette. And as we were walking back to our cars, they had changed out the window, and this t-shirt was under a opened up button-down shirt on the mannequin. And I saw it and went, well, I have to go back inside immediately. And I bought this t-shirt for $5 along with a bunch of 84 Olympics hats and pins. But I bought this for $5 and it sold for $89.99. And it's just really cool.
East Coast thrifter. You were in Downey? Yes, we were. When we went to California 2 weeks ago for the whole weekend, we were all over.
It was totally random. Because we kind of were just like, where's the...
We'd gone to an estate sale. We went to 3 estate sales.
We had gone to an estate sale that Vikki had found. And then from that estate sale, Nanette was like, well, there's this other one over here. And she just gave us the address. And then we went there. And then I basically looked up a close by thrift store. And then we ended up in Downey. I'd never even heard of Downey, California prior to that.
We went to a great breakfast place. Oh my God. We're going to go back to Downey just to go to that restaurant.
I don't even remember what it was called, but it was delicious.
It's the East Coast trip. Said I graduated from Downey High in 81. Nice.
I had
we were in Cali 5 days after you left.
Yeah. Pretty much.
We didn't know you were going.
Yeah.
We might have planned it for the weekend prior, but we had no idea.
Yeah. Anyway, I paid $5 for it. And I want to show another thing I want to say is I never worry about when there's no tag. I know when you have a tag, it does make it easier to tell if something is actually vintage, especially when you're just starting out with selling vintage t-shirts and maybe you don't know as much about what to look for. And it is really difficult for me to kind of explain that.
Something to answer that question. So go ahead.
So I just wanted to say that I don't personally, in my opinion, I do not think it devalues for the most part vintage t-shirts to not have the tag. It might make it harder for you to be able to verify that it's vintage. But with my experience, I can look at the shirt and know it's absolutely from the 80s. This is a legitimate vintage t-shirt, and I still sold it for $90 after paying $5 for it. What question are you wanting to answer?
You will have to answer the question, the name of the restaurant, because I have pictures somewhere, but I don't have the.
I mean, it was literally like
on my Instagram.
A block away from the Assistance League, whatever Assistance League thrift store. And I know that they had, I will try to comment, or maybe somebody can ask that after the show's over in the comments, and then I will respond and say what it was. But it had kind of like a Mexican flair to it, the food. And we had
that was so good.
A pork belly eggs Benedict.
Yep.
Just freaking amazing. You and Nanette each had the
a Nutella
mimosa
flight. Yep.
I had a Mexican candy flight, which was like these shots that had tequila in them, but they also had a bunch of other stuff that are very sweet and delicious. But man, it was just yeah. We had Nutella. What are those things called? Crepes. It was Nutella and banana. Very, very good. Very, very good. I don't know if that was the name of it. I think it was like a newer place. I'm not sure though.
Oh yeah, you went to that Mexican. We've been to that Mexican place with Mel and Deb. Noelle. Yeah, it's a good Mexican place.
Yeah. All right. Next up, quit itching all your skin off.
Itchy.
Next up,
So this did take a while to sell. I did talk about this probably last summer. This was a bins find as well. But it's very tiny. I think it's why it took so long to sell. So it sold for the price you see there, $329.97. I had this on sale I did a huge discount sale on my dresses category for like 3 days last week. And this is one of the items that sold. And I paid what? $1.50 for it at the bins. It doesn't even weigh a pound. Vintage gunny sacks, all of those things. It's the cottage core, all of the desirable things so I paid like $1.50 for it. I had found two and I sold one for $400 immediately.
And what this one sold for again?
What you see there, $329.97.
Wow. Nice. Very, very good. All right, real quick, guys. I found it. It's called Ola Resto Bar is the name of the place we went to. You see it there. And see, look at those are my candy tequila flights. And I'll show you real quick. Vikki and I got the same thing to eat. And that is the pork belly eggs Benedict. And it was like the sauce was very spicy.
And it was perfectly portioned too.
Oh,
it was just one eggs Benedict and one tiny little
so
crate.
Freaking good.
So you weren't
freaking good.
You weren't stuffed or anything. It was great.
It's Ola Resto Bar. So good. So good. Definitely.
Kelly says that dress is slutty prairie. Listen, it has a sweetheart neckline. Not everybody has boobs like me, Kelly. I mean, if you're a tiny person, it's not trampy at all. Jeez.
All right. Next up, I have this Polo Ralph Lauren down parka jacket. I have had this for like a couple of years. I've sent out a bazillion offers. And it's a really nice jacket. It's down. And I paid maybe $20 for it. And I've sent out offers on eBay multiple times for $100. Suddenly it sold for $175 on Etsy. So I was super happy to have it at the door because for the most part, I'm not actively seeking out jackets. If I came across the same jacket again, I mean, well, after my experience of not being able to sell it forever, I probably wouldn't pick it up unless it was like $10. But it's still a really cool jacket and definitely worth the money. And it probably feels awesome wearing it when you're out in the cold.
All right.
Don't you think? I don't
Probably.
know.
It's just a very boring
All right,
color.
what's happening here?
Okay, so the photos are terrible. I'm not going to lie. So I actually retook these photos. Dana's husband, Johnny, had taken some photos for me. And this thing it's really hard to photograph, and you cannot maneuver the head around too much because you'll break it. Because it's taxidermy. So it's a taxidermied vintage coyote headdress, or it still has the paws, the tail, the whole head. It's a little bit, but it's vintage, and it's vintage. It's Native American. I found it when I was talking about the eagle feather thing too. I found them both in the bins. The eagle feather thing has been or will be given back to Native American land where it belongs. This actually is fair game as far as I'm concerned. It's legal to sell, so I'm selling it. It's vintage. I took an offer for it yesterday. Can you close the photos? It's creeping me the hell out. So I probably paid a few dollars for it. I took an offer yesterday for $275. I've only had it listed for about a week and a half. I want it out of the house.
Yeah, that's pretty creepy.
And I was happy to, I think I paid, $3 or $4. It's not very heavy, but it is vintage. If you look at the lining and you look at the way it was constructed, and I know about how old the fan was that I found. This is very old, and it's satin lined. I would say this is probably, I didn't put it in the listing, but my guess based on the lining and the type of construction on the inside of this is that this is probably closer to like the 40s or the 50s. And I think the fan was as well.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, eBay allows, I sell taxidermy frequently, Erin, whenever I can find anything taxidermy. This is the equivalent of taxidermy. I mean, this is made into a hat, so to speak, but it's the equivalent of taxidermy, and taxidermy is legal. You just have to be careful where you ship it to.
Yeah.
Tommy, somebody that collects Native American artifacts or artwork, it's not like I'm going to wear the damn thing. I can tell you that this also could be something that someone would wear to something like Burning Man. It's not me, but
I don't know. There's I feel like there probably are a lot of vegans and vegetarians at Burning Man that would probably not be too excited to see somebody with some
maybe
feet hanging
they do
down
a
the
lot.
side of their heads.
People wear a lot of fur coats to Burning Man, though, even though it's in the desert. Now, I'm not somebody that likes the treatment of fur and animals, now. But if something is vintage, I will sell it. I do sell vintage fur all the time. It's already been killed. It's not something I'm promoting.
Well,
now.
Something that was like ceremonially or used ceremonially 60 plus years ago that was killed in the wild is very, very different from mink farms and farmed animals for their
for now. Even when I sell vintage furs, again, if something was made 50 years ago, I would much rather repurpose and resell something that has already been created rather than contribute to new killing of animals for that kind of thing. And that's not a soapbox I stand on. It's just my personal thing.
But the reality is we currently eat meat from the grocery store that's not like, we don't even know where it comes from. So there's not a whole lot that we can really judge personally.
I'm not a vegan. I get it.
So in a perfect world, I would be only eating meat that comes from sustainably sourced methods, but it is what it is at the moment. And all right, you done?
Yeah.
Okay. Next up for me is the St. Louis Cardinals satin bomber jacket. I love it.
Is that a chalk line? It's a
starter. So this one I have had for probably like a year and a half or so. I actually had two of them. This one's extra large, and I had a large one as well. The large one so I had two that I literally had my store for like a year and a half. I know Vikki had said, I sold the other one on Thrilling. Vikki had said that they had us in search of email because they're sending out these emails. I went back and looked. This one was not, there were some other teams that were mentioned, but this was not one of them. So it's like this random thing where somebody it's hard to imagine that the sales aren't connected, but they were different names going to different places in the country. So it's just really weird to me that I sold them on two different platforms within one day of each other. And I sold the one on Thrilling first. It was a large with the exact same jacket for $199.99. And then the next day I sold this extra large one on my Etsy store to somebody completely different for $179.99. So I think it's just one of those really weird coincidences that just happen sometimes. Just kind of bizarre. So who knows? Because I even looked up in the news. I'm like, is there something going on right now with baseball and the Cardinals? Did something significant happen? Because a lot of times when something happens, either the team's going to playoffs or somebody dies or something significant happens.
It creates a surge in the market. Yeah.
But there was nothing around the Cardinals. So I was like, okay, whatever. Thanks for the $400 almost between these two sales. So I was pretty happy about it.
Yeah, Tina, thank you. That's exactly what I was trying to convey. I just was off the cuff not saying it properly. I think you're correct. That's exactly what I feel. I feel like with vintage fur items, I almost feel obligated to find a new home for them rather than them end up in the landfill. I feel that way about a lot of vintage things, but especially vintage furs. I don't know what it is about that. It's something I need to make sure that it has a good use of its life, I guess.
And I think there's a lot of vegetarians and even vegans that are willing to wear leather as long as it's something that they got at a thrift store or it's used, because it's already happened. They're not contributing to the supply and demand. And
pre-owned is different. Yeah.
So, and then there's the people who are super strict and they want nothing touching their body that came from an animal at all. And that's their choice. So,
Petra asked if you were to choose another platform for high-end,
well, I'm trying to find the thing.
Survey of design. Sorry.
Oh, well, I didn't know that was Petra.
I think that was Petra. So if you were to choose another platform for high-end costume or collectibles, what platform would you choose besides Etsy? I mean, eBay or Etsy for high-end is pretty much all I'm going to say I would choose, honestly. Maybe
it's Adele.
Oh, it's Adele. Sorry. Maybe Thrilling. Yeah, I'm not sure.
For high-end costume or collectibles. I mean, it's tough, but Thrilling is
Thrilling's clothing. They do costume,
I was going to say
clothing and
I'm jewelry. Hot mess right now, but yeah.
It is a hot mess right now too.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. All right. Next up for you. It's your last one.
I picked this up at the bins This was also 2 weeks ago. I picked this up when Leslie and Jimmy and her husband Jimmy were in town, and we went and met them at the bins, and then we went out to lunch after. This is much larger than it looks. It is hanging.
I feel like you could have gotten more pictures of it.
It is a hand blown. Look at the bottom piece again. So sorry, I want to show this. It is a hand blown glass. You can see it a little bit there because it's got the nub on the end. This is not the cheap commercial stuff that it kind of looks like a nipple on the end of it.
What's up, nub?
This is not the cheap stuff that you can buy commercially at, say, like my New England people will get this reference at the Christmas tree shop with the cheap nautical decor. This is the original stuff. So I purchased it at the bins. I paid $5.99 because the heavy stuff, they don't charge by the pounds. They price it individually. And this was priced at $5.99, which I think is their price up to 10 pounds or something. Anyway, and it sold within a week. This was purchased, so it sold for $159.96. That's the price you see there. The shipping was also, the buyer paid $110 shipping because it shipped to Switzerland.
How much did it actually cost?
It cost me $85 to ship.
So you made a little bit extra there. And you insured it, I'm sure. Lucy, you asked any thoughts on First Dibs. Do you know what that is? I don't know what First Dibs is.
I don't know anything about it. I have seen the site. I've never used it. I have no comments on it. I'm sorry.
We are pretty much.
I've also never used. I used Ruby Lane 20 years ago when they first came out. I've never used Cherish. Ruby Lane 20 years ago was trying to be an eBay copycat, kind of like Bonanza. And I used it for some old antique items. But again, that was 20 years ago. So I have no frame of reference for it at this point. I'm sorry.
Yeah. All right. Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. My last one is this White Snake t-shirt. So Mercari, like I was saying earlier, my activity on there has really been increasing, and I keep getting orders. And I'm certainly not, I just did $400 this last week. So it's not in any way in the lead as far as my sales go. But I've been getting regular orders. Usually stuff, I sell them from 40, 50, maybe 60. Occasionally I'll have an 80-something order. And then every now and then something big sells. So this sold for $204. It already got to the person. They already did their feedback, which was a 5-star feedback. They're very happy with it, which I was a little bit nervous because even though I disclose everything, I say pre-owned, worn and faded, crop top, measures short. I mean, if you look at the measurements on this, guys, I don't know why I used a tank top. I guess it's kind of a sleeveless. It's only 21 inches in length. It's 19.75 inches across the chest. So I'm trying to be really clear about what the condition of this is, but I was just worried it was going to get there and they were going to be like, yeesh, this is so small. Even though Mercari technically is you don't really get to return stuff. You never know if somebody decides to cause a stink. So the fact that they already got it and they immediately reviewed it, I was like, woohoo, give me my $204 minus 13%. And I was happy about that. How do you feel about it?
I like the shirt. Can I see the back again? I want to see the back photos.
There you go.
That's some hair.
That is some hair. You like it? You like that? All right.
That's before the hair even got good in 84.
Yeah, man.
That's where there's a lot of long, bushy, feathering hair happening.
I will say I do have a special place in my heart for White Snake because I do love me some Here I Go Again. I think that's an awesome song.
Yeah. You like it's because it had Tawny Katane in the video, I bet.
No, I just like the song itself. But
so Lori says, will Louis Vuitton store also repair? Yeah, they repair stuff. I mean, it's not all for free. You've got to pay.
Yeah.
Depending on if you have a receipt, I think repairs are free. Don't hold me to this. I'm not 100% sure. But when I was researching it, but they'll send stuff out for repair for you.
And sometimes that is a good way to get it authenticated is you can take it into a store and be like, oh, I got this repair and it needs to be done. And they can look at it and they'll say
they don't
this
repair
is super fake. Or they'll say, yeah, we'll repair it. It's going to cost you $100. And you can be like, no, thanks. But sell it as authentic. I mean, I'm just saying.
That's true.
But for the most part,
I know people that have tried to do that though. And I don't suggest doing that just to get, if you're planning on getting something repaired, don't go in there and try to get them to authenticate your bag. They're going to throw your ass out.
No, but just saying legitimately want to get it repaired, there might be a threshold that you're like, okay, that's too much. But some places they will do it for free sometimes because a lot of times it's like they want their stuff. They have a quality control and they don't want stuff being randomly repaired they want to do it themselves. They want to make sure it's
right
up to the level.
So Jamie asked, do I cross post my hard goods or list them mostly just on eBay? No, I cross post the hard goods, not the thrilling, obviously. And so only I'm very careful what I cross post to Poshmark.
You sell a lot of hard goods on Etsy. So.
Yeah, I sell a lot on Etsy. Almost everything's going to be Etsy and Mercari as well.
Yeah.
I just, to be honest with you, I haven't cross posted a damn thing to Mercari since like October.
Tracy, I pretty much almost never do auction. I think I've done 3 auctions ever. So everything's buy it now on my eBay, and I have best offer on everything. Vikki, on the other hand, does not like best offer. So she only has it on some of her things. Right?
I have best offer on maybe 5 items out of 4,000. Yeah. I don't do best offers because I'm always running a sale of some kind. It's either anywhere from 20% to 30% off, sometimes even higher, depending on the category. And if I'm trying to move something quickly, and I'm sending out offers to buyers all the time.
Yeah. And you get annoyed by
offers. I don't want shitty offers. So I just don't have best offer on anything in my store. Yeah. Again, that's me. Lots of people love best offer.
We live in the same house. We have different businesses. I have best offer on everything because even the shittiest $1 offer on the $300 item brings attention to your store and your item. So it all, to me, it's all worth it. It's annoying sometimes, but it's all
and
worth
everything
it.
Is buy it now for me as well. If I maybe do 1 to 2 auctions a year if I find something interesting.
Yeah. Now I do think depending on what your pricing is, if you have a $12 item, don't do best offer. Like,
yeah, don't. It's not worth the time.
I have best, like what Vikki was saying about having sales and stuff like that. I build the whole offer thing into my price, so I know I'm going to have it at a sale price, but there's also room for me to do offers, and so I'm cool with people making offers. And sometimes I'll have something I've had around forever, and somebody makes an offer that's like half of what I had it listed for, or even less, and I'm like, okay, awesome. So it's not always going to be an insult to get a 50% off offer.
I've had such a scratchy throat today. Sorry, I've been like drinking the whole time I've been on the camera.
Wait for me.
Not that kind of scratchy throat.
All right. So that is it for that part of the show. We're really like taking our time today.
Yeah, I know. Sorry.
Quit apologizing. I'm making an observation.
We've been shit.
By the way, I'm going to yell at you. By the way, I do want to say real quick, we had a really fun time earlier this week. We had our friends, Dynasty and her lover boy, Adrian, came over for a movie night. And Adrian, or she calls him Glam Babe, we share a love of movies in general, but also like really quirky and weird and horror and kind of goofy. And I love real movies too. Real movies as in ones that may be more critically acclaimed. But I love a wide variety of independent movies, old-timey movies, silent movies, Oscar-winning movies, but I also have a special place in my heart for horror and sci-fi.
And horrible ones.
But see, I don't...
Vikki, where are you going with the story?
You shut your mouth. Vikki is the same way with movies as she is with music. If she doesn't like it, it automatically means it's bad. Doesn't matter. If it's not to her taste, it's just terrible. It's not that she doesn't like it. It's just terrible.
Yes.
That is the way she feels about everything. Because she's a little narrow-minded when it comes to certain things. However, so we do these movie nights, but what's fun is Adrian and I get to pick the movies we watch. Vikki and Dynasty talk the whole time, which is fine, which means we can pick whatever we want to watch because I don't have to worry about it being something that she's going to want to watch because she's going to be talking to her friend the whole time. So it actually works out well. But what we watched this week, shockingly, there was a lot of giggling coming from over here.
We both liked it.
They both liked it. And so I just want to share with you guys in case you want to check it out. I think you can stream it on Showtime right now. It's a 90s movie called Tammy and the T-Rex starring Denise Richards and
Paul
Walker. And it is the most ridiculous. And yes, I have it in 4K because, I mean, come on. This movie deserves it.
Danielle's watching too.
Yeah, she says we loved it. This movie is so over the top, funny, and ridiculous, and so stupid, and so entertaining. I was shocked that she actually enjoyed it. Because usually if I have her watch a movie, I'll try to pick movies I think she probably will like. But still, there's a good 50-50 chance she's going to say, that was terrible. Why did you just make me watch? Wah! So
it's true.
I think Dynasty's a lot nicer about she's willing to be put through torture all the time watching movies with
she has a lot more allowances for him.
You're like, get it out of my face, that's terrible, it's garbage.
Yes, actually, that's how I talk all the time.
Actually, this is more what's happening. We'll put a movie on, this is Vikki, and then she'll be like, that was terrible. I'm like, well, you have to actually watch it. And she's like, I hate it. And I'm like, seriously? Like, you don't even know what the plot is. Anyway.
That's true.
That was just my little side note. Let's get into our haul.
All right.
What do you got to show?
I've got a few hard goods and I've got some clothes. So I actually wanted to show this for I have any of my vintage or antique people out here. I wonder if maybe Nanette is watching this. I may have to message her. She doesn't watch YouTube very often, but
hold on, pause for a second. Jamie wants to know what your favorite movie is. Before you answer that, we'll come back to it in 5 minutes. Before you answer that, put in the chat what you think her favorite movie is, because I'm really interested to hear what people have to say. Because she does have a favorite movie, and I know what it is, and you know I know what it is. I want to know what they think it is.
Do you know what it is?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Show your hat.
All right. So take the chat off so they can. Okay, so I picked this up at an estate sale when we were in California. It was a huge pile of stuff, so I probably paid a couple of dollars for it. I paid $100 for the whole table full of stuff. But this is an antique hat. This is a silk hat with like chainmail chin strap and a chainmail emblem on it. And it looks partially military, but it also looks like it could be like a bellhop's hat from like a hotel or something like that, or a uniform hat of some kind. But here's my conundrum for anyone that wants to be my research buff. I've started to look it up a little bit. I haven't dived too deep yet. So, but this is like a chainmail double-headed eagle with the 32 on the chest, holding a sword or a dagger. This is metal. And then it has the gold piping on the side. This is also metal. This rope here is a metal strap. And then it has the buttons on the side have that same emblem. So double-headed eagle holding a sword with 32 on the chest. Now 32 might be the year. If this is military, it could be the division.
Scottish Rite, maybe?
I don't know. I don't know.
To write down.
We're writing down these guesses. Anyway, it's very cool. It's definitely antique. It does come from a uniform company. It has a person's name embroidered inside. This is the kind of stuff I used to love, this type of research. So I'll find it. Dana knows my favorite movie. I don't know.
Apparently, we'll see. I'm the one that will announce it.
Anywho, anybody that has any ideas, I don't know. I don't know what this is, but it's definitely antique. It's original. It's interesting. I kind of really love it. I'm going to sell it. I don't know what I'm going to sell it for, but I don't even care what the content is. But
32 is 32nd degree.
See, that's what I was thinking. That's what I said, like like infantry. That's what I was thinking. 32nd infantry or something like that in my head. But I mean, also what came out of this house is a lot of Mason stuff, and the 32nd degree Mason is the other thing that came in my head, because my grandfather and my uncle are both Masons, 32nd degree Masons. So that's the other thing that I was thinking of. Anyway, I'll do a little bit of more research, but I paid a couple of dollars. I think it's really interesting. I'm going to sell it for over $100, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Not Masonic, Scottish Rite, 32nd. Yeah. Okay. I don't know what that is, but I'm going to look it up. Thank you.
Well, we've had some really good guesses in the chat, and a lot of them are probably movies that Vikki does really love. I will say, Karen, A Star is Born, that, not the most current one, which was enjoyable. My favorite version, I think there's like 4 in total of A Star is Born. My favorite version is Judy Garland, which is The Man That Got Away. Like, her performance of that song is unfreaking believable. I'm connecting with our audience. Anyway, Vikki's favorite movie.
Are we doing a whole thing, or?
We're talking about you, jackass. We're connecting with people.
All right.
Top Gun. That's her favorite movie. Top Gun. Which, I mean, I will say one of the movies I love is Aspen Extreme, which is known as the Top Gun of slopes. So
I'm reading what Cheryl says. The origin of the double-headed eagle, Scottish Rite. One of the 32nd degree Scottish Rite Freemasonry. So, okay. So I wasn't too far off when I said the Mason. So Freemasonry's most recognizable symbols. Interesting. All right. See, you guys are the best. I hadn't even done much research on it at all. So I just wanted to bring it up because I thought it was really awesome.
But yeah, Top Gun, you guys. Although she does really love Officer and Gentleman as well. So I do like to say every once in a while, I got the bus house to go.
Dana did know my favorite movie.
That's why I was saying Top Gun, because it's like, come on, really? Tom Cruise and his middle place tooth? Weird. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look up Tom Cruise teeth and you'll thank me or not thank me. Anyway.
It's just my favorite movie. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, let's just say Little Miss Judgy over here does not have the greatest taste when it comes
right
to
up there with Dirty Dancing, two of my favorite movies.
Now, Dirty Dancing I can get on board with.
Two movies I can recite front to back and act out if need be.
Yeah, we've been to that bar a couple of times as well, Sandra. It is cool. It's a cool bar. We like it. We like it. Yeah.
Oh, see, Jill gets me.
Hey, I think Top Gun's...
And Jill doesn't even know me that well. So, I mean,
I think Top Gun is fun. It's just, the thing about Vikki is that she is an enigma wrapped up in a mystery. And she's hard to figure out sometimes because the stuff that she does
this is why I keep you guessing.
No sense. I guess. It makes it difficult sometimes, though. But what I have found, though, is that the majority of the stuff she loves, music or movies, is stuff that she watched when she was young or listened to when she was young. And she's very nostalgic.
That's true.
But if it's newer or way older, she's like, garbage. This is garbage.
It's true.
So,
all right. So I did show this on my Instagram. So for those of you that are on the gram, just ignore me. But this was my other favorite find of the week.
Talk about nostalgia.
This is, anybody know who this is? This is
what show it's from?
Yep.
Wait. Hold on.
You do that part.
Love it. Yep. Pee-wee's Playhouse.
It's Cherry. Grabbed this at the bins, paid about $2. I don't even think it's over a pound, so under a pound.
I love it.
I love it. It sells for, and I'm going to sell it for about $65 to $75. There's a handful of them that have sold for less, but it's just because they, people that drive the price to the bottom on just about anything.
Does anyone else think that Cherry's a pervert? Remember when Miss Yvonne would sit on Cherry and Cherry would look down her cleavage? So inappropriate. Cherry.
I still don't know how to spell it. I think it's CHAIRRY.
Yeah.
Not.
At least that's what we found.
By Googling.
The fandom wiki fandom page of like Pee-wee weirdos. Just kidding. I love Pee-wee too.
Picked up this dude at a completely chock full, literally to the ceiling thrift store that we went into in California somewhere in the industrial ghetto. I don't really know where we were, but it was like all like auto repair shops and tire shops, and then like one tiny little thrift store that the guy didn't even have the lights on, and he was outside hawking stuff on a rack, and we were like, we're gonna go in. And I bought a bunch of stuff there, and
did he try to make you go on the roof?
Yeah, he wanted me to climb up on the roof to. He's like, I got some great stuff.
I feel like that's like bad news for insurance purposes.
I'm probably not going to go there. Yeah, so I grabbed this dude. He was filthy. He had been sitting outside.
He had bird poop on him.
And he had bird poop on. He's been washed. I put him in the washer. I put him in the dryer. I probably shouldn't have put him in the dryer because the acrylic fur got a little bit matted.
He looks good.
But whatever. He's super clean now anyway. And he sells all the time. I honestly, it'll probably sell on Etsy. People on Etsy are much more nostalgic for plush than they are even on eBay. Both of those things would probably sell on Etsy. I've sold him for over $100 a couple of different times. And I think I paid $2.
Yeah, not much. Jamie, I'm going to pretend like I didn't see that you said Pee-wee's literally the most annoying show that was ever on. Shut your mouth. I love me some Paul Rumens. I love me some Pee-wee. I made her watch Pee-wee's Big Adventure for the first time last year. And speaking of Vikki having terrible taste in movies, she didn't think it was good. She didn't think it was that funny. And I am disgusted.
But I remember the show. I don't know why I must have watched the show.
It's so good.
Erin, I do actually want a little Pee-wee doll if you want. I would love to have a little Pee-wee doll to sell with that. I haven't listed it yet, but I've already taken pictures. I've sold the Pee-wee doll a few times. It's the talking one, and most of the time the talker doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
It sells.
So Noelle says that Star will yell at you for putting plush in the dryer. But listen, I had all of my plush in the dryer. It literally had shit on it. Okay.
I put every single plush in the dryer, and every single one has been fine except for that one. So
Jamie doesn't like his voice. La la la, connect the dots. La la la.
Just stop. Just stop.
So good.
Look up long plush on Etsy. Write that down so I can look it up after the show.
Long plush.
I don't know what that is.
All I know is that Pee-wee was done dirty when he got his show canceled because he got caught in an adult theater whacking it. Isn't that what they're there for? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
He's a dude. Who cares?
Hang dry the acrylic plush. All right. Whatever. I don't care that much. I'm not treating the eyeballs on the things. I don't do any of that. I don't care. Not saying there's anything wrong with it. If you want to take that kind of time, it's the same thing for people that want to scrub shoes and scrub the soles of the shoes. Yeah. Good on you. Not me.
Speaking of Pee-wee's Playhouse, the guy who played the genie just died this year. Remember him? Make it like a high, make a high you. All right, go ahead.
So this is something else I picked up at an estate sale. What, last weekend? Yeah, it was last weekend. I just didn't show them all. I picked up the entire collection. These are by Lennox. So these are, they have dust on them and everything. I haven't cleaned them off yet. These are by Lennox. It's a monthly collection of dogs. They're like little golden retriever puppies or Labrador puppies. I think golden retriever puppies. This one is from March, if you can't tell. It's the leprechaun. He's got the little pot of gold. This one is from February. I'm not going to go over the whole thing. It's got a little Valentine. Let's see what else I have. They're all of them. There's 12 of them. This one I think must be from April. I didn't look it up, but I'm assuming April showers with the little umbrella. So they're Lennox. So they're bone china. I got the whole collection plus the display shelf they come with. It was probably one that you bought by the month or something. I don't know. Mm-hmm. For $30. Including the display shelf. They
had it priced at $65 and it was 30% off.
Okay, so 40 or 45 is what I paid. Anyway, so some of them are selling for $30 or $40 a piece. I'm going to sell the whole collection. I will probably sell it for about $300 plus shipping, and that's going to be awful to ship. But yeah, they're really cute. They're cute. It was one of those good buys. I knew for the whole monthly thing, it would be good.
You know, Gail, this house, so we were there on the last day of the sale. I can't even imagine what was there for the first day. It was all vintage. And we kept talking about how immaculate the house was. It was actually like they kept everything in fantastic condition. The furniture, the shed carpeting, everything they kept the boxes for everything. So it was actually like, I wish we could have gone the first day because I'm sure there was so much cool stuff.
The prices were high.
The prices were really high, but like lots of vintage toys, appliances.
Okay, it's already 3:30. I've showed 3 things. Let's keep going. I have shit to do today. All right. So the other thing I picked up at, I think this was at the estate sale in California. So I paid a couple of dollars for it. This is a bamboo handle with a lucite top, vintage umbrellas. So this particular vintage umbrella I picked up just because it had a cool closure and I could tell it was vintage. I didn't even open it. It's actually an Yves Saint Laurent advertising piece for Opium Perfume. Ooh. It's a vintage Opium Perfume umbrella. There have been like 3 that have sold in the last year for like in the 40s, a couple of them in auction, and they're just terrible listings. There are 2 listed right now. One is an auction with no bids, but there are 2 listed for over $250. I'm probably going to list it in the $200 range. I don't know if eBay is the market for it, but it's vintage. It'll go on a couple of my vintage platforms. Mm-hmm. I think it's a great umbrella. Let me see. I guess I'm going to only show 5 pieces of clothing because we have such a, we're going so far overtime.
I don't have a ton of stuff. So, do you want me to show some clothes first?
Nope. That's all I'm going to show is my 5 pieces. And then
she's just going to leave.
No. And then you can have the rest. Okay. So this is something I picked up in the bins in California. And it's just a vintage, it's like an apron dress, or I would say you would tie this on the front of, see, it's like a pinafore type dress, but it's an apron. I think this would be tied on a basic dress, and you would wear this as like on the to decorate the dress. It's like a Christmas, like a holiday plaid, and it's vintage. I would say vintage, like 60s, 70s, with this tag. And it goes down really long and has the ruffle on the bottom, and then it ties in the back, but it's not a full skirt and it's not a full dress. I think it's like the pinafore apron that you'd put on top of a basic, solid colored dress, long dress. I have it listed. I think I just listed it for like $75. I paid less than a pound. It's less than a pound, less than $1. Also from the bins, this came from our bins right here a couple of weeks ago. Vintage dead stock. I don't think I showed this on the show. If I did, I apologize. I tend to lose track. Vintage gold label Victoria's Secret 1980s dead stock with the tags. Unfortunately, it's not a robe or something satiny. Those definitely sell a lot better, but it's just a cotton. It's pretty, a little cottagecore looking. Mm-hmm. Cotton floral nightshirt or nightgown. I have that listed for about $100. Vintage. This is from the bins. This looks like gunny sacks. It is not gunny sacks, but this looks a lot like gunny sacks from the 70s, early 80s. This is from the late 70s, early 80s. Both Crystal and I actually both looked it up by the RN number just to see what it was. But the company is just a kind of a no-name company out of New York, but definitely 70s, early 80s. This is very prairie cottagecore gunny sack style. I will not put that in the title, but I would use it as a theme on eBay, and I would use it as a theme on Etsy because it would bring eyes to people that are searching that way. I'll do two more things. These I picked up at a thrift store for $5 in California. And these are, I wanted to talk about these specifically because of this label. So if we look at this label, you see White Stag. White Stag that's a Walmart brand, right? Well, before it was a Walmart brand, like a lot of Walmart brands, it was a higher end ski wear company brand. And that's what this is. These are vintage. These are from the 1960s based on the label. And the Union tag. Made in the USA.
Interesting.
And they're vintage, very thick. It's almost like a wool blend. Ski pants. Stretch. Yeah, they're stretchy ski pants with a stirrup on them. They're very thick stretch wool blend. And there's a couple pulls on. That's what the red tape is. They have a couple like little pulls in the fabric. But these are men's. They're men's because they have a trouser type front that has the flap that goes over, and the measurements are 34 or something like that. So definitely men's, but like really cool. If you look up vintage White Stag ski and look at some of the sold prices, you're going to find a lot of 80s and 90s stuff when it was just hitting Walmarts. But if you see the older stuff, you'll see some really higher price stuff. It was definitely really, really well made. You can tell by the quality. This is not the typical, hey, this is the Walmart crap that gets put out and made in China now. So I just want to say, like, not all White Stag is stuff you want to ignore. And let's see. Yeah, it was made in Portland, Oregon, Noelle. You are correct. That's what that tag said. Yep. And then this is another item that I picked up. Did we get this in California?
I got that for you at, where did I go? Somewhere.
You went somewhere and grabbed it for me. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. It was at that McFly's place.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And I was like, I don't know what this is. It's some sort of cape. And I thought she will like this. And I bought it for you.
Yes. So it's a vintage mod 1960s plaid cape. It's fully lined. And it has these big buttons down the front and a couple of buttons on the side for sleeves. It's a very non-structured square like cape. The capes are a thing right now. They're kind of having a moment again. Mm-hmm. That whole mod 60s cape look is kind of a thing. It's never really gone out of style for people that like the vintage styles, but it's having a moment right now as far as there being a bit of a resurgence. I have that priced for about $129. I didn't pay for it. Katie did. We do this for each other. Sometimes we'll pick up stuff.
See, sometimes I have an eye for stuff that's not just t-shirts. And I saw that and I knew she would like it. And I was like, I'm going to get this for her. She was sitting out the car because she was tired and didn't want to go in. It was just like it
was a t-shirt shop. I knew I wasn't going to want to go.
But they had that in there and I was like, oh, she's got to have this. This is really cool. And I'm like, I hope she likes it. And then I showed it to her and she was like, I love it.
So that's it. That's all I'm going to show today.
Mm-hmm.
I just had a handful of stuff. Yeah, I think, I do the same thing. I'll pick up stuff at the bins that I could sell. I sell anything that she sells, but I know things that she likes more than I do. So I bring more stuff and I say,
sometimes I like it. Sometimes I'm like, you can keep it.
Yeah, it's not good enough.
All right, I just have, I had gotten all that stuff from when we went to California, along with the 50 pieces I got from that online purchase. But yesterday's Fits had did a post saying that they just gotten another box of stuff. They get like these big, huge 100+ pound boxes, FedEx boxes. And so what are you writing down, little notes?
Because you wrote something down wrong because you were talking and that was the wrong word.
Oh, gotcha. And so I was like, I better go in and just grab because I knew it was mostly going to be like filler type stuff, right? I wasn't going in to spend up on a bunch of stuff. Just I wanted to make sure I grabbed from sales racks. Anyway, but I got some cool stuff. So this one is an 80s Alaska. It's like an Alaska Princess Cruise sweatshirt, but it's from the 80s. I think it's super cool. I love the graphics on it. And so I grabbed this. I paid like maybe, it's got the Toltex tag. I paid like $15 for it, tops. But it is 80s and I love it. I think it's great. I'll probably price this at like 100 and try to sell it for 70, 65, 70.
That's not bad.
No. This is, again, I talked to you guys about the stuff that has nothing to do with, this doesn't even have a tag in it. It's definitely vintage, but it has nothing to do with any kind of brand.
That is real loud.
It is just real loud, real geometric. I do stuff like striped t-shirts or stuff that's got kind of the surfer skater type stuff. And this stuff is getting kind of more popular now. But yeah, there's not even a tag, but it's single stitch. And I can tell from the construction, this is probably from the late 80s.
Very 80s.
But awesome. I will list this for 70. I think it's a great shirt. But this I paid I don't even think I paid $10 for it. Probably, let's say 10. Next up, they had their regular sale stuff, which is usually like $5, $10, and $20. But the $20 stuff I get for 15. But then they also had some stuff they had a little longer that they priced half off. And so I picked up this cross colors t-shirt. Sometimes you'll find cross color stuff. They'll have like cross color stuff. I
had never heard of cross colors. You said that to me. You were like, what?
Yeah, it's like 90s. Sometimes you'll see like repros at like TJ Maxx or like Ross and stuff like that, and it'll have like TLC on it or something like that. But there are some legitimate old school ones that are made in the USA. This one's single stitch, cross colors. You dig? I think I should be able to sell this for like $100. I paid like 25, I think 30 maybe. But a great shirt. Next up, I have this Boston Bruins t-shirt.
Thank you, Dana. Dana said, I've never heard of it either.
This is really heavy material. I don't know why it's so thick.
It feels almost like a sweatshirt.
It's like really.
It's because it's cold in Boston, for crying out loud.
It's like it's double material.
We only have like 2 weeks to wear t-shirts.
It's really heavy. Plus, it's got like full graphics on the front and back. But this is when Boston Garden closed in 1995. So it says thanks to the memories. So people who are like big.
That's going to sell. Fans, yeah, that's going to.
It's got like actually all the stats on the back.
I know someone that would want to buy that, but we'll see.
It's got all the stats at the back with the little asterisks next to the years where they were Stanley Cup champions, and then final season at the Boston Garden. So it's just a cool nostalgic T-shirt for somebody who's who's a Bruins fan.
Let's see. Kelly, that is exactly what I said to her. Crisscross will make it jump. She's like, no, that's the brand, not the band.
Cross colors, not crisscross cross colors. Cross colors.
She's got the same brain as me sometimes. I'm telling you. Didn't I sing that to you in the kitchen when you showed me that?
Yeah,
it's funny.
I think maybe like middle class, lower middle class white people probably weren't like the biggest buyers of cross colors clothing.
Racist
from. Okay.
Terrible comment.
Well,
how do you know?
What do you mean, how do I know? Because it's like super streetwear, hip hop clothing line from the freaking like late 80s, early 90s.
I didn't wear.
So yeah, you listening to your Poison and drooling over Bret Michaels were maybe not aware of like Cross Colors, the clothing brand.
That's probably true.
Jeez. It's not a racist comment. Michigan, this is Michigan Wolverines 1989 champions t-shirt. It needs to be bleached, but this is like the stuff that I like. It's good filler stuff that I still can sell for like $60 to $70. I paid like $10 for that. Next up, I love this. This is an 80s sweatshirt. Chill out in the Bahamas. I really appreciate the cat who has written on his belly "party naked" while wearing swim shorts. So I'm not really sure what's going on there, but he's holding on to the tail of a mermaid who is giving him some serious side eye there. I think this is like a young Dana when she was a mermaid once upon a time. Look at that. Look at that black hair and the side eye there. You gotta participate.
Listen, hip flipping mama said, Vikki, look at your messages for a photo. I'll take the heat.
Yeah, I get it. And she said it earlier, and then she said it again. So she's in trouble too, but you're both in trouble.
She sent me a picture of her elf.
Yeah,
it's cute. The same one.
I don't care. Now look at this. I was talking about how this looks like a young Dana mermaid giving the side eye to the inappropriate cat who's touching her tail
hair
with that hair. Anyways, let's chill out. I love it. I'm pricing this at $100. It's dated 1987. Fantastic. It's a great
and
condition.
Yes, I have been watching Tommy Lee and Pam on Hulu, of course, which I find it's very funny.
Yeah. Next up, I have two of these. They're dead stock and they're awesome. Two of these from 1994. There's been earlier versions. Like I think I saw one from the 70s and one from the 80s. But it's like a British rock, like the family tree of British rock. It's really cool because it has all the bands that are British, and it has many bands that Vikki would be excited about. Mm-hmm. But you can see some like Def Leppard. And you can see like a lot. It's a really cool shirt. Now, I saw one that sold like a year ago on Depop for like $17.99. Right now, the only ones that are listed for like, there's a couple that are listed for like $400. And it's like, yeah, right. And there's a couple that are listed for like over $150. I do think I could get 100 for these.
I think you can get 100.
They're a good size. They're just really cool.
I think 400 is crazy, and then I think the $17.99 person was just clueless.
Yeah, so this is just a cool shirt if you love music, and there's just lots of really cool bands on there.
And they're vintage, and they're single stitch, right?
Yeah,
they're nice.
They're from the early 90s. They're on old Fruit Bloom tags. Anyway, so I got two of those actually. All right, this is one that I actually had to have crystal repair, but it was one of my favorite things I got recently. Look at this. I think this was in that box of stuff too. I think this came in that box, but I haven't taken pictures of it yet because it needed a repair. But Dream Troll, and it's dated 1992.
It's a sleep shirt.
Yeah, but there was like a hole in one of the seams was separated. So that's actually, I love it when I find that because it's a super easy fix for Crystal. So it just adds $5 onto my cost. And then it's good as new. And so, but this is a great shirt.
Or it's $5 onto my cost because I pay for the repairs weekly.
See, listen, guys. Listen, she thinks she's being funny, being snarky. You heard her say, I bought that $20 thing for her. Mm-hmm. Yes, she buys me sometimes too, but it's usually a t-shirt at the bins that she paid 50 cents for.
That's true.
Buy her that $20 thing. Every time I go to Yesterday's Fits, I usually bring something home that I paid like $15 for regularly. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I also drive her ass around everywhere. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. 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 And who gets the hats down when you need to ship a hat? Huh?
Because they're too high.
But let me tell you, God forbid I have Crystal repair two things, and she's like, "It's $10 for your two repairs." No respect. Rodney Dangerfield over here, guys.
Ridiculous.
Right, I got three things left to show you. This was also in that box, but I realize I am going to have to wash it, which is a bummer because it's new with tags, but whatever. It doesn't really affect its value. It's just, if you love cows, if you like cows, Dana, I showed this to Dana, but it's got a couple of stains on it. So I do need to go ahead.
They're puffy cows. They're like rubberized cows.
I need to go ahead and bleach this, but this did come in that, it's like raised. It's puppy. This did come in that box, that my bale, quote unquote, 100-pound. Actually,
what are they doing? Are they just cows?
They're just cows hanging out in California, man.
I just wanted to make sure it wasn't one of those shirts where the cows are doing dirty things.
No, they're just regular old Californian cows.
All right.
Come on, man. All right, two things left. This one I did not actually get this week. I got this maybe 3 weeks ago.
Weeks of it.
Shut up. I saved it for last because it was the coolest, and then I totally forgot to even show it, and I was super bummed about it. I'm like, you know what? I'm showing it today. I paid, I think $85 for this. And I think it's awesome. This is from probably one of the absolutely worst Batman movies ever. Batman and Robin. This is the George Clooney Batman.
I was just going to say, is that George Clooney?
But it's also got Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze. But great shirt. It's dated in 1997. Awesome shirt, great graphic. This one is not one of the more common ones. It's a little harder to find. I have it listed at $300, but I'd sell it for $200. But I paid like $85 for it, and I think it's freaking cool. I love it. It's just a terrible, terrible movie. Really terrible movie.
I think that's the only one I didn't see.
Yeah. All right. Last one, guys. I know it can get kind of boring. Look at all my t-shirts. Here is something you are going to want to write down, make note of if you do any selling of clothing, because this is something you need to know. I learned about this from our friend Derek, because he happened to sell one a couple of years ago, like a year and a half ago or so. And I was like, holy shit, that sold for a lot. He only knew about it because some guy from Thailand like asked him, hey, do you have any of this? And so he learned about this. Totally random. I'm not even sure like why it sells for so much, but this shirt right here. So I got this at Yesterday's Fits the other day. I paid $10 for it. Let's say maybe $15, but I'm pretty sure it was on the $10 rack. So I paid like $10 for this. Now, here's the deal. There are a lot of shirts on eBay that have different variations of stripes and colored stripes and different kinds of things and different combinations and whatever. Here's the key thing. It's specifically rainbow stripes going across the midsection, right across the chest right here, just like this Apollo. Go on eBay, search rainbow polo shirt, vintage rainbow polo shirt, and sort it by high, low, and look at the solds, and you will see exactly what I'm talking about. There was a green one, which I think is a little more rare, that auctioned for $385. There's other ones like this. I will be listing this for $300, and I should get at minimum $150 for it, but I'm going to put it up for $300 because it's in pretty good condition. It's a good size.
I think you'll get $2 for it.
This is just, so here's the thing. I don't think it particularly matters what brand it is. I do see there's a couple that have sold that are like Velva Sheen, but Velva Sheen's just, it's a blank. It's like Screen Stars. It's just another,
right, it's
whatever.
A blank.
But it just needs to be legitimately vintage. It doesn't even necessarily matter what's on it. Fair Sky was a cruise company, cruise ship, whatever. A few of the other ones I saw online were also cruise ships, but then there's like one
said Grand Canyon, one said BMW. Yeah.
But I don't think brand matters. It just needs to be like true vintage, and it has to be rainbow across the chest. It can't just be like one color or two colors. There's a variety of striped shirts, like I said, and some of them go for more than others.
And I don't know we don't know the reason why. It just is.
It's just a popular thing.
People ask all the time.
It's
like,
a popular thing.
Why? I'm like, I don't know.
Derek was saying that he, especially he's like, you're gonna get a lot of interest from Thailand. I don't know, but I paid $10 for it, and I planned for it to go eventually minimum 150, but I'm listing it at 300 to hope for 200 or up. And so, like I said, do your research, go on to eBay and look at what they actually look like. You can't just grab a striped shirt and be like, oh, it's striped, it's got colors on it. It's like, it's very specific look.
Yeah, keep your eyeballs out.
Very, very, very specific look.
I would pick that up anyway because it was vintage.
Yeah, but you might.
But if I didn't know, I would end up pricing it for like $50.
Mm-hmm.
And probably take like 35 if that's something I picked up.
Yeah.
So if I didn't know that was kind of a really popular thing that could sell for a lot of money, I could be leaving a lot of money on the table because I don't price everything, right? I've said this before. I don't comp things. Vintage is difficult to comp. You go with your gut on a lot of that stuff.
It's stripes. See, they're going across. It's rainbow stripes. If you look at the solds, the one I said went for the highest amount, it was like green with like a white collar, I think, in the rainbow stripes, and it sold for $385 on auction. It was like 24 bids. If you look at current stuff under auction, there is a green one that at first glance looks very similar. It's green, it's got the stripes, it's got the white collar, I believe, and it only has like a day left in auction, and it's only at like $32. Well, if you go look at it, I'm like, okay, what's the difference? I looked at it. It's like, I think it's only like orange and white stripes. Like it doesn't have rainbow. It needs to be a rainbow.
Yeah.
And so, but that's just stuff.
So Erin was saying, before we go here, the OP rainbow terry cloth ones, definitely. So Ocean Pacific's another brand that sold a lot of them. So these are specifically 70s and 80s ones. I don't think the 90s ones would be something that is going to 70s and 80s. That's like an early 80s tag. I would say 70s to early to mid 80s is what's going to be the sweet spot for age on those things. Velvet Sheen is a 70s tag.
I know 80s. You see that tag a lot in the 80s. And a lot of them have like company names on them. So, but I don't think that helps or hurts. I don't think it really matters. But again, go look at those so you can be on the lookout, because that's just going to be one thing where most people are. I didn't know about it until like a year and a half ago or so, and then I saw it and I was like, holy shit, I got to get that. But it's just one of those things. Always look in the polo section just to real quick and see if they have it.
And I normally would never. So now I'm gonna.
You get one and be like. So there you go. I gave you guys a little nugget there that might be helpful.
What is the oldest vintage clothing item I've ever sold?
Probably that the bustly.
No, I've sold older than that before. I mean, the last few years, yes. Okay, as that was a bustle from the 1800s. But I've sold stuff from the 1700s, like 1800s. Vintage clothing. I had probably the oldest thing I had was an Edwardian bonnet and dress that I'd picked up at an estate sale in New England. Yeah.
All right, cool. Don't forget, as I said at the beginning, Dana was hacked on Instagram. So her House of Rocks is a fraud now. It's a lie. It's a mockery. It's a sham. It's bullshit. So quit following her there, and then you can report that account and follow her at House of Rocks Official, because she's the bitch.
Dana, you should change your tag here for YouTube to House of Rocks Official.
Yeah, if you can do that.
If you can.
But anyway, go ahead and do that, guys. All right, I think that's it.
We're finally done. We did a lot of chatting today. Sorry, the content, we didn't have a lot of things to show or a lot of solds to show as much. Ripley, I'm not going to get Ripley. Not tonight.
I'm going to go get her then.
Oh, for fuck's sake. I just go get back to
Why?
work.
You can go. I will show Ripley.
Okay, I'm done.
Look at, they're in there like talking about it. You can look at your phone. Ignore them. You don't have to worry about them.
Katie's going to go get Ripley now.
Yeah, we make a promise. Okay?
She's going to come up on every show?
Yes. We have an audience.
Oy.
This is what they pay the big bucks for.
Really? Nobody pays us bucks. I just want you to know. Not even YouTube will.
We're being greedy. We share Ripley for free.
That's true. That's true. We share Ripley for free, she says. I'm like, we share everything for free. All right, I'm trying to read some of the comments here. Yeah, basically report and block the House of Rocks account. Report it as impersonating someone that you know. Report it, block it, unfollow, and then follow House of Rocks Official. She's trying to rebuild her account. She lost thousands of followers. It was hacked. Obviously, I know you guys all knew that. I ended up telling the guy to go hang himself that kept messaging me from it. Guy, girl, I don't know who it was, the person.
Can't believe you didn't want Jamie to see Ripley. Look at this baby.
She's awake today.
She was awake by him now. She's like, look at her. It's like, I bring her up here every time, and it's like she gets shy and doesn't want to be turned around.
Like she knows there's a camera.
I know, right? Which she doesn't, but she's like, oh, I can't look over there. I don't want to.
She's big. She's big.
Just give me some kisses. You want to give this mama some kisses?
Hi, baby.
Yeah. But seriously, it's like, I feel like I bring her up here, and she's like, I don't want to be looking in that direction. It's too weird. Anyway, she's a good girl. She's a good girl.
Thank you, Noelle, for the super chat. 2022 for Ripley, because I promised, and Ripley needs treats from Auntie Noelle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What are you trying to do? Where are you trying to go? Huh? Why do you refuse to look in this direction?
Never.
She's such a cute pup. She's been doing this thing lately where one ear is up at all times, but then the last couple of days they've been back down again. So
Gail, no, I have not listed the vacuum yet. I showed it on last week's show. I have not listed it yet. I came back with a lot of stuff from California, so I am still photographing and listing all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That was a very expensive, big weekend trip. So it definitely is stuff that needs to last me a couple of weeks of listing at least. But
see, 115 people stuck around for Ripley.
I guess they're falling off now. They're done.
They're like, all right, we've had it. Bye.
We've seen the dog. See ya.
All right, guys. Love you guys. Thanks for hanging out with us and putting up with us and our ridiculousness. And Noelle, thank you so much. We will get Ripley some treats from Auntie Noelle.
And we will see you guys next week.
Next week. All right. You going to go get to work or what? Why aren't you working yet? I thought you had stuff to do. What's up?
Bye, guys.